Is it Tuesday yet? Oh my god, hey! 1 minute in, I haven't said a thing because... Anyway, hello. Welcome to Taco Tuesday. It's so weird saying that without looking at y'all. Welcome to Taco Tuesday, y'all. I'm gonna make a very quick video in which I discuss blind faith. Why? A lot of people have a hard time believing in something that they can't see. We say a lot of things like, oh, we believe to see. And that sounds a lot like blind faith, you know? We don't need to see to believe, but we believe to see, because when we believe, whatever we're believing for or we're believing in manifests itself, right? That is very, very true. However, we forget to take into account that God, like, he asks and he demands faith from us, but we're not really going into it blindly. We're never doing any of this blindly. We are asked to live by faith. We're asked to put our trust in God and to believe in him even when we don't see, especially when we don't see. True. But I think the connotation blind faith is kind of untrue for a Christian lifestyle, because it's not like we have no basis for trusting God. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not like we are tricked into it. It's not like we're brainwashed into it. Okay, blind faith is probably not the right title. But here's what I want to say. Let's get to the point. We are not brainwashed into trusting God. We are not coerced into putting our trust in something invisible just because. You know, our faith is never... Where do I go? Even though we are asked to walk by faith and not sight, our faith in God is never truly blind. Yes, that is what I want to say. Why? Because we have an opportunity to approach this God, to focus our eyes. Oh, come on, revelation! Okay, woo, okay. Let me phrase it right. Our faith in God is never truly blind, because even though we're asked not to walk by sight, but by faith, we are also invited to fix our eyes on the author of our faith. We have access to the fountain, to the origins of our faith. We have access to Jesus. The veil has been torn. We can see him, we can approach him, we can relate to him. And that is what gives our faith substance. We don't believe just because we believe. We don't believe just because we're told to believe. Some of us do, but we're not supposed to. We believe because we see him, because we've met him, because we know him. And in this relationship, we're actually given an opportunity to communicate, to ask questions, to seek understanding. The Bible says if you lack wisdom, is it wisdom? Yeah. If you lack wisdom, ask God, who freely gives it to those who need it. I'm paraphrasing, but it's something around that. Like, we can ask him. We can tell him we have questions. We can tell him about our doubts. We ask him for faith. We ask him for knowledge. We ask him for a strength to believe. So it's never really blind. I've been meaning to make a video about this for so long, because I've noticed I've said a few things like, you know, I believe in this because it's what God told me is the right thing to do, or I believe in what God says and I don't ever have to question his, you know, like his direction or anything. I choose to believe in God and in his definition of me, regardless of what I want. Things like that. And I have noticed that might come across as ignorant, or as just, you know, I love this car because my car doesn't have a horn. I don't get to honk at people. This is amazing. Anyway, and I've noticed that saying things like that might come across as naive, you know, like I'm just believing because I was told to believe. You know, like, oh, the Bible says this, so I don't get to want anything else. I don't get to think. You know, I don't get to think differently because this is what God says, period. And yeah, but also, I actually am given the opportunity to be convinced by God. You know, my relationship with Him gives me an opportunity to actually find a basis for my faith. I believe in God because I've met God. But when I am tempted to believe in something other than what God says, because I have a relationship with this God, I get to be like, okay, God, you tell me you are truthful and only you are righteous. So allow me to understand why you would say something that seems bad to me or for me. And He explains it to me. His love reveals it to me. Even if it's not a word-for-word definition, even if it's not a visual explanation of what I want, He convinces me of His love, of His presence. And that is why my faith is not blind. That is why my faith is substantiated in something so much truer than what I can see. I love it. I love it! Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Let me know what you think and let's continue a conversation. If you have something else around this conversation that you want me to talk about, let me know down there and see you. I don't know how I'm gonna stop this video. Hey, a red light. Look at God. God is so faithful. So, yay. Bye.